Just wanted to make a follow-up video since I do have some experience in being married, having kids, and being in a relationship. And there's so much horrible advice out there. So let me just quickly lay out some things that I think are important. First of all, marry someone on your level. If you are very intelligent, you will not have a fulfilling marriage with someone who isn't. Also, do you want 50% of your kids to be dumb? No. If you're dumb, then yeah, who cares? But if you're very intelligent and you value that, marry someone else who's intelligent. And that may make the woman a little more complicated, a little bit more disagreeable, whatever the negative traits of intelligence are, and there are some, that's still better than having dumb kids. Even if she's, if you want like a traditional stay-at-home wife, still look for someone who's intelligent. Isn't she going to be homeschooling your kids? Like, honestly, you don't really want to marry a really young girl who's impressionable and moldable to your standard, because that's a farce. You can't mold a retard to being like a highly adequate and intellectual woman. Like, if you want someone to educate your kids well, you need to marry someone who you know can do that, right? So there's like a lot of stuff I hear in the manosphere, right? Oh, just marry a young girl who cares what she believes in. Like, no, you should care. You should care what she believes in. And if you marry someone so malleable, she's going to make one bad friend and be influenced in a way that you can't control and you don't like. So think about that. You don't want someone like that. You want someone who knows who they are. You want someone probably intelligent if you are. You want someone who will bring structure and influence into your home and will raise your children well. Yeah. And yes, she can be young. A lot of young women are, you can identify if they're airheads or not. But the general rule of just marry the 18-year-old, it's kind of stupid. There's a lot more to human beings than just their age. And I understand women. I understand the attraction. I understand the feminine aspect and wanting a lot of children and blah, blah, blah. But you still don't want those kids to be poorly raised, right? Or inherit terrible genetics. So pick beyond just her age and, agreeableness. Okay. The second piece of advice is, honestly, date your own age. Now, this is with a caveat. If you're a dude and you can afford to get married early, you're like 25, like, date someone your own age. I guess if you come up way later in life, yeah, you might want someone a bit younger, depending on how many kids you want. But honestly, it's really nice to grow with the person. It really is. And I think, again, going back to my earlier point, creating a wife, if you're way older and the woman is way younger and you're like raising the woman almost like a daughter and like molding her into the wife that you want, that can backfire. Because if it's incongruent to her nature, she will rebel and the marriage will not work. She might just be LARPing because she wants to get married and have kids with you. And then when she realizes she is actually unhappy with you because your personalities are not a good match, and she didn't realize it until she was like 25, your marriage will fall apart. So I honestly recommend dating your own age as much as you can. So yeah, there you go. For women too, like, I don't know, dating the older guy, it works in some situations, but remember, it's a huge trade-off. If you date someone much older than you, you will be their nurse when you're older. Like, let's say 10, 15 years older than you. It doesn't make a big difference in your like 30s or 40s, but in your like 60s, 70s, 80s, it makes a big difference. You'll be their nurse for the last 10 years of their life instead of, retiring, going on vacation, or whatever your plans are. I've seen it over and over again. It's a trade-off though, because they usually provide very well for you when you guys are both younger. But just something to think about, like, if you're going to marry a way older guy, be prepared to be their nurse when they're older. And if you abandon him, like, you're a terrible person and you will go to oh, I'm not God, I don't know, but you're a terrible person if you abandon your older husband to like an old folks home. I think that's horrific. So just count that into your life trajectory. Like you will probably be taking care of your older husband when you're both older and he's 15 years older than you. Yeah. And men tend to deteriorate faster, unfortunately. Also, general advice, once you're married, don't just like get comfortable and relax. Obviously, like postpartum or like in times of trouble, like if your husband can't find a job or something, obviously you want like foundational support and just love. But overall, you want to keep each other on your toes. You don't want to get too comfortable, and you always want to be, you don't want to be in fear, but you want to have like the knowledge that you could lose them, because then you will work not to. You'll work on yourself, you'll work on your relationship, etc. You should never be in complete 100% comfort in your marriage. I think it's actually detrimental to the relationship. I think you should always be fighting for each other. Yeah, that's about it. Hope everyone is doing well.